Hey y'all, welcome back to Tit Talk, the most titillating podcast you've ever heard. I am here today with my new friend. I'm going to call you a friend because we've talked so much.
We have that first talk we talked forever. Like, I don't know why guys think that women talk a lot. It's really so inaccurate.
I know, right? Well, please, everyone, say hello to Elaina St. James.
Hello, it's me.
I'm
And
so
I've got
excited to have you.
thank you. And I don't know about anyone else that has animals, but oh, now she moved. So my dog was sleeping like on this part of the couch, so I didn't want to disturb her. I'm such a weenie. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll just kind of sit over here on this side. And now she was like, oh, now you're loud. So I'm gonna go to the other sofa. So I just
My dog is very camera shy, so I
yeah.
get it. Like he's
Yeah.
like, I want nothing to do with the bright lights and the whole thing. So I get it. But
Yeah.
in
I disturbed
honor,
her, clearly.
in honor of you, I wore a robe because
I
this is
know.
your signature outfits.
It is. It's so funny. So it is my signature. I didn't realize it was going to be a signature. It was when you are doing content creation, as I'm sure you too, like obviously we're known for not wearing clothes, but part of what we have to do is wear some semblance of clothes for social media. And even I've noticed, even on my OnlyFans, like they want to see some kind of, something. So if it's just, I think it would get boring if it was just nudity, nudity, nudity.
I
They
agree.
want to see like some form of undress, like, they want to see socks sometimes or thigh high, right? Or they want to see some kind of lingerie, or they want to see the garters or the thong, or, maybe the panties are down a little bit, or maybe the bra is like under here, but
Yep.
it's visually, it's more interesting,
It's
you know?
enticing. It's intriguing.
Yeah.
It's
It's visually more interesting. One of the things that, and I've noticed that actually sometimes with whenever I do, and I don't do a lot of shout outs with other girls, but when I do, sometimes I'll notice the pictures that don't get a lot of response are the ones where it's just like, here I am, legs wide, naked. And I think guys are just like, okay,
yep. They
there
see it
you
all
are.
the time. I know. I am, we were just chatting about this. I've gotten very comfortable showing my top, but I do try to reserve my bottom to, have a level of modesty out there in the world of social media, especially Twitter. Because I agree with you. It's sort of, it's, it's not incentivizing anybody to do what we want them to do, which is to join our fan sites.
Right. Well, and the other thing is, one of the things that I've learned, to get back to the robe. So, my most successful reels on another platform have been with, and actually some of my TikToks too, but some of my most successful, like the viral reels, I was wearing a pink. Actually, I've done it with different colors, but the first one that was like 26 million views and like I don't know how many likes was back in November, and it was wearing this pink floral satin robe, cheap, like very cheap. I have multiple IG pages, and this one was on one of my quote unquote backups, and it got 26 million views. And it was one of those things like I started getting more subs, like more subscribers, like a lot of subscribers. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And then I went through my socials and I was like, holy God. And think I was on vacation when that was happening. I was like, oh my God, this thing is taking off. And I just watched it go from like 15 million and 16 million. Now my cat is like rubbing up against my tripod here. So if you see it shaking, I'm not in California. So I started watching it go up and up, and I was like, it was just a simple, cheap robe. And basically, I'm not even sure on that one if I even like undid it, because that's kind of my signature too. I kind of undo it, and then I either play with the tie, like throwing it there, or I just let it kind of dramatically drop, or I drop. But what it does, and I think why these work, because so I had that 25 million or 26 million view, and then I had another one, same pink robe, that was like 22 million or something, and then on a different page, then I had another one I just checked recently, it was like 19 million. Anyway, just on that pink one with my 5 IGs, a couple months ago, I totaled them up. After 2 months, it was like 85 million views in total
Yep.
on IG with this cheap Amazon robe. Then, obviously, as creators, we go, all right, well, I'm a business person. If this is working, and I bought all kinds of other colors, and you know what? They are still doing well. I just released one last month on my main IG, which is Elaina St. James, just
Mhm.
nothing else. And I just looked at that. I'm like, that's gotten 5 million views, and it was like green. It was like light green. But here's my theory, Erica.
Okay.
My theory, I call it the fishing lure theory. This is primal to a man. And obviously we have a lot of men watching, and you probably are going to get this, but it's the fishing lure theory with my satin robes. First of all, I think the IG's algorithm liked it because I was clothed. I
Yes.
was covered, but it was a hint of sensuality and sexuality and intimacy because I'm wearing a robe. But here's the fishing lure theory: bright, shiny, moving.
Yes. No, I totally agree with you. And the first time I saw it, I was like, that's interesting. And then I was like, this is so simple and so genius because to your point, most of us are trying to be revealing and you're trying to cover. But I do think there is a level of sort of nostalgia for the silk robes. And it reminds people of a certain time period or maybe their mother or their
An
grandmother.
older, right,
Yeah.
an older, it's definitely older woman, which fits with my brand. It might
Mhm.
not work so well with maybe a 25-year-old, with a perfect body, but I think it was a confluence, and
Yes.
it worked. And it works, and it continues to work for me. Like, I can wear really skimpy things, and maybe it's like, okay, well, but I think some of it is men like the chase. We know this from dating. They like the chase. They
Yeah.
don't like it easy. They get bored if it's too easy. I think it goes to the psychology of men that like the tease. They like the
Yes.
dance, the
Yes.
game, if you want to call it. I think it's nicer to call it a dance, but they
Well,
like that.
they do. And while the robe is still easily accessible, you know what's happening under the robe.
Right. But that takes it to it, but yet it's not quote unquote offensive if the AI is looking at it as oh,
Right.
there's her boobs and there's her butt and there's, oh my God, I can see her, pubic area.
Oh my god. Yeah, I should try robes. I really should because the algorithm doesn't like my body.
No, algorithms do not like, I mean, now Instagram, I had some issues with them. Thankfully, I'm thankful for Twitter. TikTok despises me. Like, for a while, they liked me. Like, I had a 10 million view back in 2021. But then they just decided they hated me. And I have some things I probably won't say on here of what I really feel, but I think, to put it in a PG way, they like young girls.
No, I 100% agree with you. I think TikTok is very ageist because
Totally ageist.
even when like we have overlap in a certain category, but then
Yes.
when you go just by like body shape, I look at women that are 20 years younger than me doing the exact same thing, and they don't seem to have any problems keeping their accounts.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I absolutely think it's ageist because that's the only thing I can find that's different between me and some other people. And
Yep.
it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't, I mean, it makes sense because that's, the most popular, that and Snapchat are the two most popular sort of teen platforms out there.
Yeah.
Can I just tell you about Facebook? My reels on Facebook through the roof, through
Yes,
the roof.
because it's an older demographic. Mine too. Mine too. I've
It's
grown
amazing.
Facebook faster than any other platform. That I
It's
grew it quickly.
it's so funny too because I tell other creators this now and they're like, really? Facebook? I was like, get yourself in Facebook Reels, start doing it just as much as you're doing it on the other platforms. Like, it will pay off. Trust me.
Well, you just use your you can hook it up to your
Right.
IG, or you can download your IG Reels and then just put it on there. I don't do fresh stuff on, but yeah,
Agreed.
that one I've gotten millions of views on some of my with the satin robe. But again, it's an older demographic, so I get it kind of from a business standpoint. I think TikTok looks at it, and guys, this is the thing. This is you're getting some like behind the scenes. This is what creators are thinking about and talking about all the time. Like,
Yes.
sure, of course, we're sex crazed and we always are down to have sex.
But it's,
You know, like, but this is our business. This is what we do as creators, is we're trying to figure out what works as far as marketing. So this interchange between Eric and I, this is our business. This is what we do.
This is what we talk about regularly.
Right.
These are our actual real conversations. And that's why I do like to have smart business women on on my show.
Yeah.
So weird saying that sometimes, just because, you know, when other people come to us and they're like, well, I need help with this, I don't understand that. It's like, well, you're not seeing all these other things. And so that's why, and even when men come, I'm sure you've had fans or men come to you and say, I want to be a creator. And then you start explaining everything. And they're like, that's a lot more work than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, well, that, and so one of the things, so I think with TikTok and being ageist, and there's no question. I think their thought process is, we want to get the younger people, we want to get the young Americans, because let's face it, they are a Chinese company. They want Americans, because they want to shape the consumers, right? So yes. I think they're thinking older consumers, first of all, they don't have as much disposable income. We want to go after the young. I mean, it's really, it's predatory in the sense of marketing predatory. And I come from a marketing background, so do you. I get it. I get what they're doing. What they're missing, though, is young people that they want to target, like old ladies.
Yes.
They like older women. That's what they're missing. That's the idiocy of them, is they've got their formula, but what they don't realize is my customers or my fans are the exact people they want to target. They are the 20 to 40-year-olds. That's who they want. That's who they want. They should be promoting us, because that's what they want. Facebook, what I have learned with Facebook, and it's been good for me, knock on wood, because you know what? This is the other thing, guys. We never know when we're going to lose our platform. We never know when we're going to just be deplatformed. And it can be over something silly, and it can be over something.
A slip of the road.
It's not even that. It's they just decide this is too much. They just decide this is too much. Like this on TikTok would get me a violation. You know, possibly, not always, possibly. I've done some bikini stuff on there, but you just never know. But the conversion rate on Facebook is much lower. Have you noticed that?
It is. I have noticed that. And again, I think it's sort of a customer mindset of, you know, what you are willing to pay for and whatnot, but also the people that are there, I think they're just happy to sort of be there. It's a much safer place for them to flirt with a woman and make a comment and be a follower and be supportive. That's not going to get them in trouble.
They're also older. That demographic is older.
Right. They don't know how to.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten comments on Facebook, and they say like, ooh, you should be on OnlyFans. I'm like,
you don't understand how this works, sir.
Or they're like, you know, or they really think it's a dating app. Like they really think, you know, and I know this is going to sound terrible, but guys, if we have 100,000, 50,000, tens of thousands, if you see any woman and she has tens of thousands of followers, this is a business of some kind.
Yes.
It might not be OnlyFans. It might be, she might be a cam girl. She might be a writer. She might be a model. She might be an influencer. She might be trying to get brand deals. I'm not saying they're always OnlyFans girls, but they are not just bored women that have that
are trying to chat,
that are just having fun, and they're making reels to look great. to date. That's not happening. We're
I
not
think
doing that.
this is actually a great way to transition into the other conversation I want to have with you about your book in dating older women.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
even with social media, I can appreciate a man trying to get up the confidence to, shoot his shot, as they say.
Right.
And I think you're raising a lot of good points. We're not on these platforms to be dating, but that's not to say that we are not trying to date. And I would love to know what even inspired you to write a book about how to date older women.
Yeah. So it's funny. So I did that about a year ago. Um, let's put it this way. I don't discriminate. I tend to like guys that are my age or older because I like them. I like talking about like 80s music, and they're not like saying it in a
Mhm.
like they're saying it nostalgically, like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
remember when Pretty in Pink came out? Like I like dating guys that get my pop culture references.
Mhm.
I like guys that have a shared experience. I like guys that grew up in the 70s and remember driving in a car without seatbelts in the back. Like I like that because it's fun. It's like, so I like guys my age. I like older guys, but I also like younger guys. But I guess I wouldn't be considered, I play a cougar online, but in
Yes.
real life, I'm really not a cougar. But why did I write the book? I wrote the book because my main demographic, my customer base is 20 to 40, 24 to 44. I'm
Mhm.
55. They are my audience. It's younger guys. My first 2 subscribers, actually, this is the anniversary. 2 years exactly on this day, I had my first two
Congratulations.
subscribers. Yeah, I started
Big deal.
OnlyFans 2 years ago, but it was April 4th. I had my first two. It is April 4th, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I had my two first subscribers. They both had the first names with B. But one was 28, one was 29, one was California, one was Massachusetts. And I was just like, wow. Like I think by that time I had been on Instagram a few days. So I'd gotten messages and I was learning so much. In the beginning, what I tell creators, I don't coach, and we can talk about that at some point too. There's a lot of people that take advantage of just starting out models, and they sell coaching. And to me, find it incredibly disingenuous because they usually don't give their real secrets out. But
Right.
sometimes, I'm sure you do too, I get creators on, and if they're nice, if they are respectful, I will share what I know to some degree, but I'm not a coach. The best way that I tell new creators, go out there and watch what the top girls are doing.
That
Watch
is
what the top girls
good
are
advice.
doing.
Yeah, that's the best advice I give people as well. And I will say, if you can do that successfully, then I will be more interested in investing my time in you to
Yeah,
continue to sort of coach you. If you can't figure out how to just copy other people, then this probably isn't the right career path for you. I will
right. Because I had to do all of this on my own. I don't have a problem with coaching so much if it's not a scam. There's a lot of
right.
mean big creators that scam smaller creators. They scam them because they're not going to give them all their tricks or all their stuff, but they will charge them a lot. On the other hand, if a creator comes on my page, as they often do, I did this early on too. I'm fine with that. Don't comment because then it looks like you're poaching.
Yep.
Um, but be respectful. Send me a message with a tip because that tells me you respect my time. You respect my time. I never sent an email or a message on OnlyFans to a big creator without a tip, at least $10, just to be like, hey, I'm here. I think you're amazing.
Yeah.
You know, but when people come on and they start asking questions and they want this and want that, and then they don't tip for our time, and I'm not saying every single message, but it's a sign of respect. I'm going to give you a lot more information. I had one gal that subscribed for a couple months. Every time she tipped me $25, or every time she messaged me with questions or give me advice, would you mind giving me advice? $25. You know what I did to her? Sometimes I gave her video chat. like video messages. Sometimes it was long audio messages, but like, you know, it's the golden rule. You give to me, I give back to you. I do
Yes.
that for my subscribers. You know, like some of them think that all day long I've got nothing to do but chat. I don't. I do answer all my messages. I run my own page. However, the ones that send $5, $10, I will leave a voice note so they know it's me, and it's more friendly. If they send
Right.
me, which some of them do, a $50 like, "Hey, I think you're awesome. I have a question for you. I have a couple." I will do a video response. Sometimes if I feel like it, I'll show them my tits. You know, but it's all about respect the creator, respect our time, and you know, good gets good. But I'll get back to the younger guys in a second.
I was going to say it is, you know, to all these younger men, all the men, not just the younger men who are on our social media platforms trying to get into our DMs. This is the best advice, honestly, we could give you. We get so many messages across all the platforms. This is why we say go to our fan sites. That is the only place where we chat, because even if you only send a $5 tip, that pretty much guarantees you're going to get some sort of response and interaction. And if you aren't willing to spend $5 to get our attention, then I mean, then you are going about this the wrong way. You don't really understand how this works, because there are so many people that want our attention. I sound like I'm bragging right now, but the reality is it is
This is
overwhelming.
reality. Once you hit a certain point, Erica, this is reality. Guys, look at the social media following. That will
Yeah.
indicate everything for you.
Well, right, exactly. And that is where it's, you know, I wish I could respond to people more. And I used to try real hard. But
Right.
now it's like, again, we're not on there to date. This is a business for us. Pay for the service. You might get one response as a freebie, but if you're not willing to chat, go find some women that are willing to do it for free, because there
Right.
are a lot of them
New
out there.
creator. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Same with custom stuff. I did customs in the beginning. I did them pretty cheap. But now time is the one commodity.
Yes.
We all have 24 hours in the day. That's it.
Mhm.
24 hours in the day. I have a son. I
Mhm.
have ridiculous zoo of animals. I have 2 cats and a dog. I have a mom that I help take care of. I have a household to run. I have a business. There's multifaceted. You know, I only have 24 hours in the day, and I'm not going to kill myself to answer messages
You don't even have,
necessarily.
you know, when people say 24 hours a day, I'm like, that you don't even have 24, because you got to sleep for 8 of them, hopefully. And
Hopefully you
then,
get some sleep, right?
yeah, and then you have, you know, what, the other 16 hours of the day, half of that is dedicated to all the life stuff you have to do. And then you have to be smart about how you spend the rest of your time working. And quite frankly, the big reason I do this now is because I don't want to work a full 8-hour workday, folks.
I know, but you know what? I work more now with this. I've never taken a day off, even when I was in Europe last year, and even I've got another vacation scheduled, which will be seamless if I can, you know, do anything about that. But when I was in England and France, I made it on my page seamless. I don't think the guys ever knew I was gone. I just made it run, and I got prepared, and I planned things. So to the book, I
Yeah.
did it because guys would question me all the time. I'm 28, I'm 24, I'm 22. I'd like to date somebody like you. And I'm like, okay, I'm not looking to date because I haven't dated since I started OnlyFans. I haven't gone on a date, because that's a whole nother conversation of you got it's I understand why celebrities, and I'm not saying I'm a celebrity, but I understand why celebrities only date other celebrities, because
Yeah.
there are so many weird dynamics that happen once you have a tiny, teeny, tiny bit of fame, that it's a power dynamic, weird balance thing. But I did the book because I was asked so many questions, and I thought, these guys really don't understand what an older woman is all about. And why should they? They're young. They're 25. And it's so funny how, like, I censor the word young. I don't know about you, but I in my mouth, I don't quite like,
I know
because
it's
you
hard.
can't
It's
put
hard.
it on OnlyFans. I can't write young or younger.
You can't.
It's
No, you
banned.
can't. I
It's a
know. And that's why,
banned word.
but the reality is that is, you know, what a lot of our well, we're asked at times, would you
Right.
ever,
But it's funny because now I censor myself from even saying it because I know I can't type it when I'm responding to somebody. But they had so many questions, and I realized they didn't understand what an older woman is and what we really are looking for. And I know so many creators that are over 35, that are over 45, 50 and beyond. So I know, not just from me, I know what older women are looking for, what their lives are about. So really it was like, okay, do you want to know? Here's some insight from an older woman. This is what we got going on. We got older parents, we got kids oftentimes, we have animals, we have other things we have to worry about, our retirement. Like when you're 25, yeah, you just want to fucking have fun,
Yeah.
but and party. But so you might be over there, dude. You might be 25 and that's your life. You're paying rent. You have a nice house. You're not thinking about retirement. You've never had a health scare in your life.
Right.
Here I'm 55. I've had cancer. I went through 5 years of infertility. I've, gone through abusive relationships. I mean, like, my father has died. My mom's had health issues. Like, because I'm 55. I'm an older person. I've lived a freaking life.
Yeah.
I have bought a house. I've bought multiple cars. I know about health insurance and life insurance and stuff. I've had a kid. Like nobody's ever going to top that. Like nobody's going to top the kid. So
Right.
it's so much different. I've lived a life so much differently than when I was 25. And it's hard for anyone to wrap their head around what that life experience of 20, 30 years, what that really means in reality. So I wrote this book and it's fun. Like I talk about fun stuff and then I recorded it in a studio. And it was basically like, here's what an older woman is looking for. Here's what you're competing against with a guy our own age. Because there are advantages. Come on, Kat. There are advantages to men that are our own age. There are money, financial stability, oftentimes more so, life experience that they've had. Like there's a lot of things that are great. But let's face it, men have their own skill set. And I kind of teach them how to use that. I teach them like how your best approach is going to be to an older woman, where you're going to find them. Are you going to find them in the bars? Probably not, because we're busy and we go to bed and we don't need that nonsense. We've sowed our wild.
We've done
it. So you're not going to find us out there. And if you do stuff like calling us at midnight and and you want to hook up, that's going to be a hard no block.
God, I definitely reached an age where I was like, I don't like that middle of the night wake me up.
No, it's not. I used to think it was exciting.
Yeah, it was.
But it was like, oh, he wants
that was my 20s.
It's just like, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, hey, if I had a man in my bed and I was sleeping with him and he wants to wake me up and we do it in the middle of the night, fantastic. I love that. But you're going to call me because you're a little drunk and you're horny. No, now I think you are mentally unbalanced. And I'm like, no, thanks.
You just don't have time for it. And I think that's the interesting thing to bring up. And I'm 42, so I'm starting to realize a lot of these things and I'm actually accepting the dates with some of these guys who are 30 or warming up to the idea. And, there's definitely a different mindset. And I'm like, I don't really go out a lot. I don't drink a lot. I kind of like to be home. I'm also like, well, what are your intentions? I'm not saying you need to get married and have kids tomorrow, but I'm not looking for that just like casual whatever anymore. I'm looking for something a little bit more consistent and somebody who's accepting of my career, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and that's always a problem. But and reliability.
Don't waste my time.
How sexy is a guy that does what he says he's going to do.
Oh my God, accountability. Whew.
That it turns me on. A guy that says, hey, I'm going to call you at this time. I'm going to do this at this time. And then they do.
And this is why I like dating older men, because they do it. They
Yeah.
do that. But what, the thing I learned with older men though, and when I say older, I mean men in their 50s,
Yeah.
again, not that much older, but they're at that life phase where they're like, yeah, I've had my kids, I've had all that. I'm looking for a partner for the rest of my life. I'm not looking to rebuild a new life again. I just want somebody to enjoy the company. And I think there's something to be said about that, because for younger men trying to date older women, again, there is that, you just said everything, all the things you've been through in life, and understanding that this person does not have the same goals for you. So what is it that you two are going to have together? And honestly, following your lead.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Like, so I still am raising a kid. So I'm old. I started old. I had my son when I was your age. And so I started late. So that throws another little wrinkle in there. But what does a young guy bring? He brings enthusiasm. He brings maybe that he thinks we're awesome because I've traveled to many, many countries and I have had this life. And that's awesome. And that's really fun to share with a guy that is enthusiastic. Maybe he
Yeah.
wants to go to an amusement park or do some fun stuff that a guy my age is like, I have bad knees. I have a bad back. I can't go on a roller coaster. And I'm like, or I can't walk that far because of this or that. And it's just like, so they each have,
True.
and everybody's different, but they
Mhm.
each have their generalities of positive and not so positive. So it
Yeah.
really just depends. The biggest thing though is younger guys that want kids. Don't lead an older woman on, because if you
Yes.
want kids, look at, if Demi Moore couldn't keep Ashton Kutcher, it's a factor and it has to be recognized.
No, that's something that I definitely take into consideration, because I'm like, at this point, I'm like, well, it's still an option. However, young man, I'm like, if you're 28 years old and you want that, but you don't want that yet, then like, this is never going to go down that path.
Right.
Like, I don't intend on being, 48 years old and having my first child. I mean, granted, again,
You could. I mean,
things
medical
happen.
technology can help you with that.
Yes, I dated a man who, God bless his mother, she had him at 47 naturally. Just
Wow.
oops. Yeah. Talk
It
about
doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. You can't rely on it. I mean, I watch
No.
one of my guilty pleasures is I watch 90 Day Fiance, and I see this over and over again. All
Yes.
these older women, they're usually American.
Yes.
All these older women with these young studs, and then I mean, it almost always comes down to, well, I want kids, and it's like, well, you're an idiot. She's 50.
Yeah,
You're
you
close to
didn't think about
50.
this?
Unless you can do egg donor, or maybe not sperm donor, but unless you can do egg donor or surrogacy or something, your
Yep.
chances, I mean, and it's so sad. These women, I want to go through the screen and
I
shake
know.
them. It's like, you are 45 or 47 and you think you've got good eggs. The chances that you have good eggs are almost zilch. Like,
Yeah.
you're, maybe if you get an egg donor, but that's expensive. I
I
know.
know, at this point, I'd be paying somebody else. I'd be like, we're doing this, we're getting a surrogate. Like, my
Right.
body, like, no.
But if you're poor, if neither one of the parties have any money and they want to have a kid, and then these young guys are like, oh, I think I can get her pregnant. She's maybe 43 or 44. It's like, yeah, it really, no, it's you.
That's such a young man mentality too. I can do it. I can do
Yeah,
it.
like,
I'll
my
put
sperm
it
is
right.
so good. Well, it's not all about your sperm.
Yeah, it's not about what you've got, buddy. There's a special magic combination of things there that have to like align. Oh my God, this is too funny. But I think that this is, if you had to like summarize, this is one of the things I would say that should be top of the list in considering, are you dating older women? Are you just looking to have some casual fun with older
Right,
women?
which is okay
Yeah.
if they say it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
okay if they say it. And don't be like, oh, maybe I'm probably okay with never having kids. You know
No.
what? I would, and as women out there, if you have like maybe one or two stragglers that are like, why are these women with their tits? Why are they talking? And they just kind of came upon your podcast. I would say, don't believe them. They don't
Don't.
know. They don't
You're
know that
right.
at 35 or 37 or 38, they're going to be like, I mean, look at George Clooney. When did he have kids?
Yeah,
He said, always said, didn't want kids. Then he met his wife and he was like, yes, please, I will be a dad. And now I love it.
Yep. Yeah, and I understand that, and that makes sense. But I think this is the young men watching this. This is the advice. Decide what you want, and if you want to be the fun time guy, that's totally okay. Just be realistic about it.
And be upfront about it, because maybe that woman is fine with it. Maybe she's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's just have some fun. Maybe I've been married, I've had kids. I just want to have sex with a young stud. And I mean, I do understand that, because I'll be announcing something on Thursday. That's kind of, I haven't dated, but it doesn't mean I haven't had sex.
I am excited. Okay, well then we've got to go talk about that. I think this is the perfect time then to be like, all right, we're going to go over to our special bonus feature interview so you can tell me all about this.
Yes.
Tell everybody where they can find you, and just plug the book. Where can they buy the book, and if they want more advice on dating and like
Yeah.
everything.
We'll go get the book first, because that says it all. It really does. So Amazon, Audible. So my self-narrated, it's really cheap. The paperback is like $4.99. The Audible is, I don't know, somewhere around $5 or something. And it's me, because I spent money on a recording studio to record myself reading my own book. So it's me. So it might just maybe lull you to sleep if you get the Audible version. Where to find me? I'm Twitter, Elaina St. James, Instagram, Elaina St. James. My biggest Instagram is Elaina St. James XO. Weirdly enough, that one took off. But I've got a bunch of them. And then OnlyFans, of course, is Elaina_St. James. My links are all over the place. I'm on Fansly too, just Elaina, because I was the first Elaina apparently. So I just got my first name on there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was fun. But ElainaStJames.com has got my important links. And can I just do a PSA for your people, my people, every people? I know so many creators. And maybe Erica's different, but I don't DM you from free social media. I do not do it. I will not send you a message from a comment that you did on my official page from some other page. I get told about catfishing, scamming accounts every day.
Yeah.
Every day I get told about that. And I counter them as much as I can. But for me personally, I do not direct message anybody, anyone.
I agree with you. I think it's important to stress that. Again, everyone who wants to send us a message, this is also why we send everyone to our fan sites, because 100%.
The only way you know.
That is
the only way you know.
I will say, don't tell Meta this, but the fan sites do a much better job of authenticating us as the real people that we present to be. They do a much better job than the social media companies.
I have so many catfishers. I have catfishers, scammers on Twitter, not as many for whatever reason, but Instagram and TikTok and Facebook are just loaded with
I have
Elaina St. James, or sometimes they use a different name.
Yep.
Don't fall for it. You guys, so many fans get so angry because these catfishers ask them for gift cards. They ask them for cash. They say that they're going to meet them. I won't ever do that.
Right. That's important though. It's, I don't do meetups. I know you don't do meetups.
No.
And we don't ask for money like that. That's not our.
You support us. You want to spend money on me? I'm on OnlyFans or Fansly. Yeah. I'm also on Loyal Fans. Don't do a lot there, but I'm on those other those are the platforms. Yeah. How much easier do you guys want us to make it? There is one place for sure you're going to talk to us. Yep. It's on our official OnlyFans or Fansly. There's no question about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't try to short circuit that. I'm sure, dude, you are a special guy, but don't get fooled by these catfishers that are like, oh, I noticed you and I think you're really awesome. And it's no, come to my page. No. We'll talk.
It's just catfishers. I think that's a really good point to stress. And I'm going to start using that more as well to just say, this is why I don't chat on social media, because I don't want anybody to ever be confused.
Right.
about it.
And they are, and they fall for it, and then they get angry at us sometimes.
I am never going to ask you for money without giving you something in return.
Yeah, just come to my page, like just come
exactly.
to my page. Let's just, I have to wonder. It's like, would they think that Pamela Anderson was reaching out to them or Angelina Jolie? I don't, it's like, what level? Maybe it's a huge level. Maybe there's a certain level of where they'd be like, is JLo really sending me a message? I don't know, but it's like,
I have had one, I'm going to say he's like a C-list celebrity, maybe C-list, reach out to me.
yeah,
And I totally questioned it, even though he had the verification check mark and everything and 300,000 followers. And I was like, I don't buy this. Like, are you? And
right.
then he sent me videos to verify, sent me
Yeah,
voice messages. I Googled him. I was like, this seems like it is the real you, I
yeah.
will say. But the thing that I realized that my like way to like, figure out, is this guy for real? I stalked his page. I was like, you follow a bunch of other ladies that look just like me that I know.
Oh, that's
And I'm
smart.
like, you have a type and you're definitely chatting with all of us.
At some point, you and I are gonna have to talk, because there's somebody that follows me, and I was like, I mean, I wasn't following him, and he's not C list. He's, I don't know, probably B or C or B or A, and I was just like, me? I barely know who this person is, and though he's huge in his industry, which is
Right.
entertainment and some sports stuff, and then I was like, then I looked, and his like ex-girlfriend and his
Mhm.
current wife, I'm like, oh, they kind of look like me. Now I understand a little bit
Yeah,
more.
no, it totally makes
Yeah.
sense. And it's
Now,
just
yeah.
kind of funny. And, it's like, again, as we've, you and I could talk forever. We got to go do the
Yeah.
other thing. But we have talked about when somebody has that verified check mark, you are like, oh, are you really before the new rules? Before
Yeah.
it's,
Now the new rules, it's wild, wild west.
it's
Who
the
knows
Wild
what's
West.
going on? Yeah.
But, it definitely used to make you think, is this
Mhm.
the person that they say they are? Should I actually pay attention to this? Because of course, it's flattering to have somebody, slide
That's
into a real.
notable and newsworthy, which is what that used to mean.
We are newsworthy if these people are contacting us. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And on that note, we're going to wrap this part of the interview up, and we're going to talk about your big announcement that you have
Yes.
coming in like
Yes.
2
I'm going to
days.
tease it. I'll tease it tomorrow. I'm planning. I have a picture that I kind of cropped a little bit. It's so smug. I love it.
Oh,
With my co-star in it, but you'll only see a little part of him. But
I
it's
love it.
enough, and it's a good part of him.
All right, y'all. Make sure you give Elaina a follow. Click those links so you can see what she's about to get into. And if you want to see the second part of this, click on my link so you know what to do, y'all. Bye.
Bye.